of simple past tense.
The simple past, also called past simple, past indefinite, or preterite, is a verb tense which used to show that completed action took a place at a specific time in the past,
Were occurring at the same time as something else in the past.
or continue to happen until or near the present time. The simple past is also frequently used to talk about past habits and generalization.
Here is function of simple past tense. The first is to retell an event that happened in the past.
Example:
I celebrated New Year's Eve by watching fireworks festival. I finished my assignment last night. I waited my body for 1 hour.
The second is to talk about habits that are often done in the past. Subordinate conjunction when is usually used in the situation.
Example:
When I was in junior high school, I often rode bicycle. When she lived in boarding house, she cooked by herself. I walked 2 courses when I had enough time.
The third is to show two events in the past. One is a short past tense action happened when another past continuous tense action is taking place.
Example:
I was reading an anecdote text when someone suddenly surprised me from bed. I went to her boarding house when she was sleeping. We were eating when she came and brought many foods.
The fourth is to show a past tense action happened after another past perfect action is complete.
Example:
I had gone to campus when she picked me up. I had heard the song when she told me that song. She had seen the movie when I asked her to watch it together.
The fifth is it used in one clause of conditional sentence type 2.
Example:
If he were here, I would confess my feeling to him. I would hug my mom if she was here. If I had a lot of money, I could go traveling around the world.
Here is the formula of simple past tense.
In our previous video, we've told you that sentence is divided into 2 types. Those are verbal sentence and nominal sentence. And now we're going to talk about simple past tense. Here is the formula of simple past tense. The first is verbal sentence. For positive verbal sentence, the formula is subject plus verb to plus object. For negative verbal sentence, the formula is subject plus did plus not plus verb 1 or bare infinitive plus object. For interrogative verbal sentence, the formula is did plus subject plus verb 1 or bare infinitive plus object. In our previous video as well, we've told you about subject, but if you forget it, Don't worry, because we will remind you. Here you go. In simple past tense, don't you worry about the subject or the verb because unlike simple present tense, we don't need to think about addition s or es for the verb due to subject. In simple past tense for verbal sentence, we just use verb to or bare infinitive. In simple past tense for verbal sentence, we just use verb to or verb 1 or bare infinitive. We use verb to for positive verbal sentence, and we use verb 1 or bare infinitive for negative and interrogative verbal sentence. But as the consequence, we must memorize the second form of each verb. We must know the verb to of verb that we will use in a sentence. We can divide verb into two types. Those are regular and irregular verb. Here is the list of regular verbs. Regular verbs form their past and past participle forms by adding suffix ed. Actually, there are many regular verbs, but we can't show all of it. You can find it in the dictionary or internet. There are some rules to add suffix ed in the end of verb to. Here you go. And we have another rules as well. That is how to pronounce word with suffix ed. Here you go. Here is the list of irregular verbs. Irregular verbs form their past and past participle forms in different ways. There are mainly three types of irregular verbs. Those are verbs in which all the three forms are the same. For example, put, put, put. And then verbs in which two of three forms are the same. For example, sit, sat, sat. And the last is verbs in which all the three forms are different. For example, drink, drank, drunk. As like regular verbs, actually there are many irregular verbs, but we can't show all of it. You can find it in the dictionary or internet. Here is the example of verbal sentence. The first is positive verbal sentence. The first example is he snored loudly last night. The second example is you bought a new car yesterday. The third example is she left the class 2 hours ago. The second is negative verbal sentence. The first example is I didn't expect the good result for my test. The second example is they didn't lose their confidence even though their rival was strong. The third example is we didn't meet her since 5 days ago. The third is interrogative verbal sentence. The first example is did you swim last week? The second example is did she steam the fish? The third example is did you have a good vacation? The second is nominal sentence. For positive nominal sentence, the formula is subject plus to be, was, or were plus complement. For negative nominal sentence, the formula is subject plus to be, was, or were plus not plus complement. For interrogative nominal sentence, the formula is to be, was or were, plus subject plus complement. In the nominal sentence, we use to be to replace verb. We use to be was and were in the past time. To be was is for subject I, he, she, it. To be were is for subject you, they, we. Was is a singular verb used for singular subject, such as singular noun and singular pronoun, except you. Were is a plural verb used for plural subject, such as plural noun, plural pronoun, and compound subject. For example, is you and I. And we will find complement in the nominal sentence. Complement is to replace the object position in a verbal sentence to the nominal sentence. In our previous video, we've told you about complement. If you forget about it, you can check our previous video. When we use simple past tense in a sentence, it means that the event happened in the past and in a specific time, so that we need time expressions to show it. Here you go. Here is the example of nominal sentence. The first is positive nominal sentence. The first example is, the dancing performance was so awesome. The second example is, she was at market when I came to her house. The third example is, you were such a selfish boy. The second is negative nominal sentence. The first example is, he wasn't home when I called him. The second example is, we weren't hungry after eating a big bowl of meatball. The third example is, I wasn't tall enough. The third is interrogative nominal sentence. The first example is, were you sick? The second example is, were they in the class at 4 p.m.? And the third example is, was he bald?